meeting of the City of Brisbane Park and Recs Commission. And it is 6:32 p.m. We are starting. Okay, so I guess we need to do a roll, or do I need to read first?
Read the preamble first.
Okay, I'm reading the preamble. This meeting is compliant with the Ralph M. Brown Act as amended by California Assembly Bill 361, effective September 16, 2021, providing for a public health emergency exception to the standard teleconference rules required by the Brown Act. The purpose of this is to provide a safe environment for the public, staff, and commissioners while allowing for public participation. The public may address the commission using exclusively remote public comment options. The commission may take action on any item listed in the agenda. The Parks and Recreation Commission meeting will be an exclusively virtual meeting. Member of the public may view the meeting by logging on to the Zoom webinar listed below or on Comcast channel 27 and the city's YouTube channel. The agenda materials may be viewed online at www.brisbane.org/meetings. To address the commission, members of the public are encouraged to submit written comments before the meeting. Members of the public who joined the live Zoom webinar may address the commission in the meeting when called upon by the chairperson. Please use the chat box in Zoom to alert staff that you want to address the commission. Members of the public watching the meeting on the YouTube or channel 27 may email or text comments prior to the state of the particular agenda item to the below email and text line. Email jbondoc@brisbaneca.org. Text number 415-519-9588. A call-in number is also available for those watching the meeting on YouTube or channel 27 for oral communications and public hearing items. The phone number is 253-215-8782. The meeting ID number is 920-4174-1911. If you need special assistance to participate in this meeting, please contact the Park and Recreation Department at 415-508-2140 in advance of the meeting. Notification in advance of the meeting will enable the city to make reasonable arrangements to ensure accessibility to this meeting. Okay, and here is the agenda. I guess we need to do a roll call.
Okay, sounds good. We're going to kick it off with Chairperson Greenlee.
Here.
Commissioner Comerford.
Present.
Commissioner Ocampo.
Present.
Commissioner Sewell.
Here.
And Commissioner Sims.
Here.
Okay, we now are calling for the adoption of the agenda. Do we have any deletions, additions, or changes?
I'd like to make a motion to approve agenda.
I'll second that emotion. Or emotion. I'm breaking into tune.
This is very emotional.
That's a song. That's a good song.
It is. It's a good song.
We had Natalie and Julie, and we are making a motion to adopt tonight's agenda. So let's go through our roll call again. Chairperson Greenlee.
Aye.
Commissioner Comerford.
Aye.
Commissioner Ocampo.
Aye.
Commissioner Sewell.
Aye.
Commissioner Sim.
Aye.
Okay, so the adoption of the agenda has been done. And now we need the approval of the minutes for April 13th, 2022, which is attached and on the screen. Would anyone like to motion to approve these minutes?
I motion to approve the minutes.
And I second that motion.
And that emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I just thought, I'll leave her alone.
No.
That was Julie and Renee. So now we're moving to approve the minutes from our April 13th meeting. So roll call once more. Chairperson Greenlee,
Aye.
Commissioner Comerford,
Present.
Commissioner Ocampo,
Aye.
Commissioner Sewell,
Aye.
and Commissioner Sin.
Aye.
Okay, item number 5 on the agenda, citizens communications. Has there been any citizens communications?
We do not have any for tonight.
Okay, we'll pass on that one. Then item number 6 is presentations. And I have a note that I'm supposed to throw this to Noreen.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
All right. So we have grouped together our childcare programs to present to you this evening to give a summary overview of the programs that we have ongoing. I did invite Michelle Chan from Lippman to attend as well, but unfortunately she was unavailable tonight. So we will be sure to bring her back later in the year to provide a full summary of the Club Lippman program that the city helps to co-sponsor. So with that, I'm going to turn it over. We have Scott Morris and Sarah Nahas, both recreation coordinators within our department, both overseeing a couple of our childcare programs. So they have prepared a presentation for you tonight. And please feel free to jump in and ask questions of them as we progress through the presentation.
Thanks for making time to do this for us. It's a lot of work.
Looks cold out there.
Yeah, Sarah, are you out on the street at the moment?
It's windy wherever she is.
No, I'm at City Hall, but I'm out at
Okay.
yeah, is working on the hydrant and stuff.
All right.
All right. Do I have permission to share my screen?
You should.
Okay.
Give it a go.
All right. Can everybody see the presentation?
Yes.
Very good. All right. So yeah, like Noreen said, Sarah and I have put together a little presentation about the childcare programs that we had running this school year. Back in the fall, we did an overview of the previous summer. So this presentation is going to be starting fall of 2021 and going up until today. I apologize if this black bar here at the bottom is showing up on my screen. I do not know how to get rid of that.
Okay.
All right. So we'll start off by talking about our school year programs. Our biggest program throughout the year is our Club Rec after school program. This is for elementary school kids from kindergarten to 5th grade to come and participate in our after school program. Our program runs from 2 p.m. Until 6 p.m. And this year we have serviced a total of 97 unique students throughout the year. At any given time, we typically have about 85 students enrolled. I think currently our number as of today is 89 students are currently enrolled in our program. And our daily attendance is typically somewhere around 70 to 75 students. So not everybody is showing up all at the same time, but if for some reason everybody were to show up at the same time, we would be able to accommodate all of those students. In our program, we do arts and crafts activities. We do a lot of sports and outside games. And kind of the role of our program is to just let kids have an opportunity to get their energy out after school, provide them with a safe and enriching space to play and be with their friends while their parents are at work and things like that. Sarah, do you want to touch on the preschool program?
Yes, I have more on the next slide, but this year we've had almost full capacity for the whole school year. So we broke it into 3 sessions, fall, winter, and spring. And right now we actually have 23 students. 13 of them are going to graduate either to transitional kindergarten, so TK, or kindergarten. And then we'll have 10 moving up, so they can come back to us next year, or they might go to another preschool program. And I've gotten quite a bit of interest from incoming parents for their children who are turning 3. The next slide has more. Oh no, after this.
So part of our as part of our after school program this spring, we began running our spring enrichment clubs. So these are opportunities within the Club Rec program for students to engage in a more focused and consistent activity. So this spring, we've offered 4 clubs. So on Tuesdays, we have a sports club where this is primarily focused towards the younger students who are not yet able to enroll in things like organized t-ball or basketball programs throughout the city. So this is where our staff just teaches them the very, very basics: how to dribble a basketball, how to kick a soccer ball, how to catch, wiffle balls, things like that. Really just building up the foundation so that they feel more comfortable enrolling in a fully fledged sports program. We have our Lego club where each week our staff issues them some sort of challenge, and it's very free form, critical thinking skills where this past week their task was to build a contraption that can catch a ball that's falling off a table. So they go about it in various ways. Some groups decided to make a cage that would catch the ball at the very bottom. Some tried to make a platform that would catch it before it even hit the ground. So it's very open-ended problem-solving skills for them to be able to really engage and play with Legos, which they all love to do already. Our most popular club, which filled up almost right away, was Drawing Club. We have a lot of wonderful artists amongst our students who spend most of their day drawing and coloring anyway. So this is a great way for staff to issue them challenges throughout the week, or just really give them a prompt to let their creative juices flow in a more structured and organized way. And the final club that we offered was the Puzzle Club. This is one that I was kind of looking forward to, and I'm glad that it did get some, enough positive reception that it's something that we're looking forward to offering in the future. But I've been teaching the kids how to do Sudoku puzzles. They've been really into Wordle, which is a very popular game these days, and all the students play it at home already. So they're very excited for me to teach them how to do Wordle and things like that. So this is a small slice of some of the more structured and organized things that we offer at Club Rec. And we were very excited because we haven't been able to do our enrichment clubs since our program shut down for COVID. So this is our first season bringing them back, and it's something we look forward to bringing back again in the fall.
And Scott, just to clarify, the enrichment clubs are separate from the after school.
So these are run within the after school program. So
okay,
the kids
they're
that
within.
Yes, so the kids that are enrolled in Club Rec are able to sub-enroll into these clubs that take place at the same time. So instead of going to the normal outdoor activities that the staff offer, they would break off into these smaller groups and
Got it.
and break out into these enrichment clubs.
Thank you.
What happens if a kid doesn't go in one of these enrichment clubs? Then where's the kid go?
So every day we offer 2 activities. We usually split the students up into an older group and a younger group to do one of 2 different activities with the staff. So instead, one group will still go out and do the activity that is planned for that day, and then these students will break off into these other groups. So everybody's still doing an activity, but instead of going out and doing the game with the rest of the group, they're breaking out into these more specific groups.
Okay. You probably covered this, but I'm sorry that if I missed this. So how do the kids know if they're going into that planned activity versus going into their enrichment clubs?
Right. So in March, when we opened this up for registration, these are clubs that the parents enroll the students in. So there's a small fee to cover the cost of supplies and things like that. And then once they're enrolled, they're put on a roster that we have access to. So on Tuesdays, we just real quick call out the names on the roster, and those kids will go line up with the activity. At this point, we're about 5 weeks in, so the students know which activity they're in. So we just yell sports club, and all the sports club kids get up and go run over.
And then the last question. If the kid just is like, meh, I don't really want to do the puzzle club today, can they bounce out to the planned activity?
We typically let it, we're pretty flexible if a student just really isn't vibing with whatever the puzzle for that day is or anything like that. I always encourage them to at least give it a shot, because I do structure it. So, the Sudokus, we start with a 4x4 grid and then move up from there. So if they've done a couple and they're really struggling, or they've really just decided this isn't for them, then I do give them the option of going out and I never want to force them to do something that
Sure.
they're really not enjoying or not really meshing with. But I always encourage them to give it a shot before I release them to go join the rest of the group.
Yeah, thanks. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, of course.
I picked your favorite one, the puzzle player.
Very good.
And one final question, you said it's a kind of
Yes.
nominal fee for these clubs. If
Mhm.
if there are families who that's difficult for, do we waive the fee or provide
Yeah.
financial
So
assistance?
Yeah, so I don't think anybody reached out to us this season, but I think in previous seasons that is obviously, we don't want that to be a barrier for anybody. We want to make sure that all kids are able to enroll if that's something that they're really passionate about. So that is something that we are ready and willing to do.
Great, thank you.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
I hate to be a killjoy, but do kids get time to do homework? Do they have homework?
Yes, they get. I believe they don't get homework on Thursdays and Fridays, maybe. But the first half hour to so the kindergartners get out at 2:00, and the kindergartners don't really get homework, so they do like a circle time with the staff. The rest of the first through third graders are released at 2:30. And so for that first half hour, they get time to do homework inside or play outside with basketballs and the staff and things like that. So there's about a 45-minute window where they have time to sit down, have staff help with their homework or sit in small groups and work on it together. And then the fourth and fifth graders have the option of working on it during snack time. Unfortunately, just the way that the day breaks down for them, they don't necessarily get as much time, but they also are a lot more self-sufficient about their homework. But we do try to make sure that everybody has about a half hour to 45 minutes to work on homework right after school gets out.
That's good. Yeah. Okay, great.
That's not a killjoy question. That's a good question.
Well, it's been so long since my son was at Club Rec, but I think he did a lot of his homework at Club Rec, and he liked having the help, and he liked having other kids around.
Yeah, we regularly, out of our 75 kids, we regularly have about 25 to 30 kids inside doing homework straight after school. I know a lot of them prefer to get it done there so they can relax when they get home. So
yeah, okay.
Parents appreciate picking their kids up and having their homework already done.
Yeah, that too.
I'll just add, since we're talking about enrichment clubs, so as Scott mentioned, all of these clubs have they either have a zero or a very nominal fee, between $5 and $20. But these are all staff-led clubs. In the past, we've also brought in additional contract instructors to offer more specialized programming. Like we've brought in Challenge Island, I think, was a science contractor who we paid for specialized instruction to come in. Obviously, when we do that, it's their fee. So they kind of set and establish their fee per class. We don't really have any say over that, but we do offer some assistance for those that need it. In the future, we are looking to bring some of those things back when the timing is right. It just didn't feel right in the spring this year with everything that's going on with COVID to bring in outside people into the program. So I know some parents have expressed a desire to bring those types of things back, and we are considering it for the fall. So I just wanted to make mention of that.
Great. Are the parents allowed to put things forward, like languages,
Yeah, absolutely. In the past, we've done music. I think we've done Spanish. I can't remember if coding was through us or through the school, but absolutely, I don't want to speak for Scott, but it definitely helps when parents share with us if there's a group of kids or a contingent of kids that are interested in a specific subject matter, and then we can seek out instructors to kind of meet that need.
Yeah, the coding class was through us, I believe. That was when I first started working here. We had that going, and also along with our clubs, the Brisbane Elementary School also has a set of their own enrichment clubs as well. So Sarah and I have worked with the principal to make sure that we're not overlapping. We're offering a wide variety of things. Currently, the school is running a chess club and a gardening club. In the past, they have also done Spanish and violin. So between the two of us, our two organizations, we're trying to make sure that there's a wide variety of things available for the kids.
Sounds great.
All right.
Okay.
Sarah.
Okay, keep going.
Sarah, are you still there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so back to preschool. So our hours and days for the school year are a little different than they were going to be this summer. So we do Tuesday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. We are an unlicensed program, so we're capped at 12 hours a week. So then this summer, we're actually going to try doing it Tuesday to Thursday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., just to give them a little bit of a longer day, shorter week. And that will be at the community center because the other kids get summer camp and module. And we'll walk down to the park pretty much every day as well. Our general curriculum for the school year, we work on recognizing letters, colors, shapes, and numbers. A big thing is to try to get them to write their names and to recognize their own names. So like at the beginning of the year, most of them don't, like if you have name tags, they can't even tell what their name looks like. So by now, I think pretty much everyone can. We work on the fine motor skills, like holding the pencils. We have little tricycles. They play games outside. A big one this year, we always work on social development and communication skills, but we found that this year was a bit extra challenging because everyone was at home for so long. But they seem to have caught up pretty well. Every day they do an art project or like a worksheet kind of project, and they will get to bring that home to their parents, so the parents get to see what they make every day. And we also do we use Class Dojo, so the teachers will take pictures and post them to the Class Dojo classroom, so the parents can see what they're doing every day. We also, if you see in the top picture, we do we have the police come in and read during Read Across America Week. We do all of the holidays, so St. Patrick's Day, Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day is a big one. We do birthdays too, so every time someone has a birthday, they get to wear a little crown. And we sing. It's been a bit challenging with parents not being allowed to come into the school, but we try to do kind of our bigger events at the park so the parents can be closer, or they'll stand on Glen Parkway and look over the fence if they do a little, like for a Halloween parade. Yeah, I think that's it. Do you have any preschool related questions?
Hi, this is Natalie, through the chair. Thanks, Sarah and Scott, for presenting this. As far as like a Brisbane preschool question, you mentioned that there's a 12 hours a week. Is there any opportunities to revisit to see if there's a need for more hours or to get somebody licensed so we can increase those hours?
So licensing is a bit more than just having like a teacher with licensing. It also requires a facility to be licensed.
Got it.
I don't, Noreen might know the details more, but it takes several years to get it all done.
Yeah, it's about a 2-year process to become a licensed child care program, and several requirements in terms of staffing qualifications as well as facility. And you have to have a dedicated facility for a licensed preschool program. We share our space with the after school program at the modular. So based on what I know about the licensing criteria, we wouldn't currently meet that licensing requirement. Silver Spot in town is a licensed child care program. They have a dedicated facility. So we recognize that there is a crisis countywide as far as childcare is concerned and not being able to meet the needs of families. But we are kind of at the mercy of not having a dedicated facility that would authorize us to be a licensed program. And so we are kind of bound by that maximum hour requirement, both for our preschool and our after school program.
Got it. Thank you.
Is this something the city could strive for? I mean, as far as getting a facility and making this, is that something that's doable, or have we just kind of given up?
It's not impossible. If anybody wants to give us a building, we'll take it. It's something we definitely would love to pursue in the future if an opportunity presents itself. We're just, with our current inventory, we're not, we don't see a solution right now.
Well, that's something to keep in mind, though.
Definitely,
that's
yes.
cool. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I think this is something for us to discuss, because I do wonder if, like, ahead of everything else, like bocce ball courts, et cetera, is providing 40 hours of daycare for families who need that for their children. It'll be interesting to see. And I definitely get the challenges, but I also think that just, if you're a working family and you have 40-hour weeks, it's just incredibly challenging to find care that will do the job for your children. So I would advocate for really looking at that and figuring out, is it a possibility? And again, I don't know for sure, and it'll be interesting. And I know we're going to talk about the survey, but to figure out how realistic that is.
Natalie,
Yes.
did you want to say something?
Yes. And then I know it was one of the items that Noreen brought up was the facilities. I know there's the old library, and there's in talks of, I don't know what the status is or where we're at with that, but could that also be a possibility of, I guess, whatever the process is of bringing that up, of seeing what the need is for the preschool and the site, utilizing the old library?
Yeah, I mean, the facility and the condition it's in right now would not be at licensed. And so it would definitely require some renovation and updates.
Yeah.
We are going to be working with a consultant later this year to do a spatial analysis study on that facility to determine what mechanical system upgrades would be required to occupy it, what type of additional renovations would be required to make that space more usable. We would love for it to be an additional programmable parks and recreation space. But this is kind of the first step in that process in identifying what the facility needs are in order to make it a really occupiable space going forward. But that could definitely be part of the conversation.
Yeah, I would like to continue that conversation. Let's just keep that in mind when we're looking at our facilities and when we're thinking about what the city's priorities are, because I do agree that's a really big one. I remember when my son was that age, I had to go outside of town to find care for him. And if I didn't have significant ability to pay for that, it was impossible. But our little program that we have here is a really good stopgap measure. I'm not going to put it down. I think it's great for people who can have a part-time gig going on. But yeah, that would be a huge, huge benefit, I think, to our parents in town. Okay. Any more of this presentation, you guys?
Yes.
Yay.
All right. So in addition to our Club Rec program, throughout the year, we offer seasonal camps during the long holiday breaks. So the three that we offered this year were, we had a Thanksgiving camp, which serviced 37 campers for the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the week of Thanksgiving. We offered a winter camp for the 2 weeks that students were out of school for winter break. And for spring camp, we offered, so for winter camp, that was a 2-week camp where we offered one session for the whole 2 weeks. So families had to enroll for both weeks. For spring camp, we broke it up into the 2 separate weeks. There's a lot of demand for only 1 week or the other week of camp. So we gave them the option of breaking that one up into 2 separate sessions. So for each of our camps, we had a really good showing of campers come out for all of those. We know that there's always demand for, as we spoke about, there's always demand for childcare, especially when the kids are out of school, but the parents still do have to go to work. So during those camps, those are full day camps from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. where we offer all sorts of arts and crafts activities, games, sports. Students come and eat lunch with us and spend the whole day doing activities with our staff. For spring camp, we also had the opportunity to go to the pool and swim during a couple days for those weeks. Fortunately, it was plenty warm during our spring break this year. So that was a great thing for the kids to be able to do as well. We also, in addition to our longer seasonal camps, We also offer one-day camps for things like teacher service days, where the school has the day off so that teachers can prepare for the coming weeks and things like that. We do offer camps for those days as well, so that the kids are always have a safe place to go during those days. Any questions about the seasonal camps? All right, moving right along. I think this is our final slide. So this is looking ahead at what we have at our big things coming up. Obviously, our big program that we're looking forward to right now is our summer camp. We opened enrollment for summer camp in mid-April, and we are already almost full at our maximum capacity. We are opening up to 80 campers for this summer. And as you can see, all of our sessions are already over 75%, over 75% enrolled, or 75 enrolled, I'm sorry. So it's great to see that we have a lot of, that we're gonna have a lot of turnout for our summer program as well. Sarah, if you're still there and wanted to touch on preschool camp real quick, but so far it looks like we're getting good numbers already. I don't know if Sarah has more on that, if she's still around. Yep.
Yeah, we actually are doing pretty well for our summer program. We usually get, I want to say, around 10. So we're already above that. If you know anyone who's looking for summer preschool, if anyone's watching this, registration is open for, we're doing 2-week sessions as well, but ours will stop at session 3. So our last week is in July.
All right, and then finally, our last thing coming up is we are opening up registration for next fall's club rec and preschool programs the first week of June. That's always a really big one for family, especially families of incoming kindergartners that are enrolling in our program for the first time. So that is our next big thing out there on the horizon.
Can I ask a real quick question about the registration dates and everything?
Mhm.
Can we put those on the signboard just to remind people? Just because if you miss that, it's a problem.
Right.
Yeah, we have
Yeah, I
this
know.
homeless and reminder up for people now, so we'll
Okay,
certainly
great.
incorporate
And
that.
do you guys have like parents' emails that you guys have a list of that you send out notices and deadline dates for?
Yeah, so I have a mailing list of all the parents of kids that have been in club rec. So even if if the child is no longer in the program, I save the email in a separate list just to make sure that we have that for master lists of camps and things like that. And then I also have the list of parents from last year's summer camp as well, so I can I reminded them as well that camp signups were open. And so we and I believe, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that in our active system, our registration system, it saves the contact information of people that had enrolled in prior programs as well. So we have that resource to pull from as well.
That's great. And also, just new parents are just going to have to find their way, but there's lots of ways they can do that.
Yeah,
Like,
we
just
especially
calling the city, they could do that.
Yeah, and as we work with the school as well, so I let the school principal know when our the fall registration date was opening up, so she can let especially the incoming kindergarten parents know that is on the horizon.
Great. Okay. Well, communication's everything. That's fabulous.
We also partner with the Mothers of Brisbane to try to get the word out through them for, I think, especially the younger families.
Great.
That's all that we have.
So
Awesome.
that's
a great job.
yeah, really great job, you
Yeah,
guys.
fantastic.
I see that you're almost full. Have you had any complaints about not enough spots?
Well, this is new for me. This is my first I'm going to say full summer camp that I've participated in.
Yeah.
So, but because last year summer when we opened up, I think the maximum that we ever hit was 70. So to see that we hit 75 almost immediately was definitely a shock for me. So far, nobody's reached out with complaints, but I'm sure that as summer draws near, that is a fact that we are going to have to consider going forward.
You said you take a maximum of 80.
This year especially because there's going to be some construction at DES, so our space is more limited this year. So we had to unfortunately draw a hard line somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we will start a wait list. So if there's people that are interested, we'll create a wait list and contact those individuals in order if space becomes available. Sometimes people's vacation plans change throughout the summer and they'll withdraw. So if we're able to create space for those on the wait list, we certainly will.
Thanks.
And I also wanted to say, I think I mentioned this previously, but I think also as part of like the sessions, like with these summer camps, it's a lot affordable from other summer camps that we've been seeing. I mean, you can get, I believe, like, what is it, $300 for 2 weeks for full day, compared to other programs that I've been seeing for a week has been like 600 to 1,000 for 1 week. So
yeah, and I know that. I know that last summer we did draw a lot of out of town folks. This year we did make sure to open up to residents a full 2 weeks before we opened it up to non-residents, just make sure that residents get the first crack at that. But we do, in years past, we have drawn a sizable out of town crowd for our camps as well.
Great. And I think you guys did also a great job on the signboard on reminding everybody about the registration. So that's been very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to say I love this presentation, and I love seeing the children. And the one thing I will say is, could you keep us apprised of the wait list? Because I think that gives us a sense of the need overall and whether we need to look at expanding in the future.
First, we'll do. All right.
Great. Thank you, Scott and Sarah.
No problem. I'm going to go ahead and close this now.
Okay. Does anyone have any final comments or questions they want to ask before we move on?
No, I think through the chair, you guys, thank you for presenting this. This is very detailed, and I think we all enjoyed like the analytics and also like how much details go into the planning. So thank you.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, so next on the agenda is old business, and I have needs assessment survey progress, and I'm going to ask Noreen to comment on that.
Yeah, so I just thought it might be helpful to provide the commission with an update on our needs assessment survey. We pushed that out to the public about a week and a half ago now. We have just around 30 respondents thus far. We've done outreach through social media, including Facebook, Instagram, and Nextdoor. We've included it in the city manager's weekly blast. It's on our website. We asked the school district to include it in their newsletter. It's posted on site at all of our city facilities. It's been up on the signboards. We've sent it out through email distribution lists and to our youth advisory committee. So we're trying to push it out as many places as we can. I know a few commissioners had volunteered previously to kind of be present at one of the upcoming farmers market to help kind of encourage more awareness amongst the community members. So for those of you that expressed previous interest, if you're still interested, we'd love to take you up on that. Our next farmers market is next well, there's one tomorrow. That's a little short notice. But next Thursday, the 19th, and then the 26th, I will say that we do have staff already scheduled to be on site for the farmers market next week, distributing bags from commute.org in honor of Bike to Anywhere Month. So we will have staff out there if the commissioners want to join. Ricardo will be out there next Thursday. Otherwise, happy to set up a booth and a table for commissioners on a future Thursday evening at a farmer's market. And if anybody feels so inclined, we would also welcome your assistance distributing flyers to local Brisbane businesses or asking business owners to put them in the storefronts in town, just to help kind of gain awareness around that. So
I can do that. So I could do like a mainstream or a Main Street kind of run and talk to some of the businesses there. And what about for seniors? What kind of outreach are we doing there?
Yeah, so we have the hard copies of the surveys available at the Sunrise Room and are including them in our meal distribution to seniors.
Okay.
So this is a copy of the flyer that we've created. There's a QR code on there. People can just scan it on their phone. It takes them directly to the link on our city website with the survey embedded there. But we have hard copies available in our office at City Hall, and happy to make as many copies of these flyers as we feel is necessary to really get the word out.
And so, Noreen, would I pick up copies from you and then just drop them at the businesses?
Yeah, from either myself or Jovi.
Okay. So I can do that. I can do the main street
Excellent.
businesses.
Okay. Yeah. We will have copies available for you to pick up. Let's see, we're open at City Hall tomorrow and then again on Monday.
Excellent. And then did you also say they're going out through the schools?
Included in the school district's newsletter.
Okay.
Yep.
And how about the library? Maybe we could leave a stack at the library and maybe definitely leave stacks of these. Although I know, like, if you leave them, how do you get them back from people? That's the big question. But leaving them at the senior center, maybe having a box for people to leave them in once they filled them out.
Yeah, we have noted on the hard copy surveys that people can drop them off or return them to the Sunrise Room or City Hall or our childcare modular. So I think the pool too, we said that people could return them to any of those locations.
Maybe you could email me a link or something and I could do it on Facebook and, just do a personal plea to people.
Okay.
I do think we need to get more respondents on these.
Yeah.
And Norina, if you also send me the link, I have some people I could email, just personal emails out.
Absolutely.
I don't think it would overlap. And then I guess on the 26th, so I'm traveling the next 10 days, but on the 26th, I could man a booth at the farmer's market.
Okay. And I think Frank said he was interested too. So I'll confirm if he's available on the 26th, and then you guys can tag team it.
Great.
And Lisa, can you put it out on the residents of Brisbane too, like some of those?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
That's
I
fine.
just don't want to double up, but that was one that I think would be good.
No, I could do it on that. I could do it on the Gardeners of Brisbane. There's several different spots I could do it on.
Natalie,
But I need the link. I don't, just.
Natalie dropped the link into the chat,
Oh, great.
but it's spelled incorrectly. It's Brisbane.
Oh,
BIS.
did I spell it wrong? Oh,
Yeah,
there
but thank you for
fail.
putting that in there. That is the correct link.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do stuff like
fail.
that all the time.
Sorry.
No, it's all
Brisbane.
right.
Oh, there it is. Now, how do I
Yeah.
copy that? Do I
Just-
just
Just highlight it.
Right
and
click.
Right click. Yep.
copy?
Yeah.
Copy?
And then,
Select
yeah,
all?
excuse my typo.
Thank
Oh,
you.
it's
Natalie.
okay. No problem. That's easy.
Huh.
Through the chair also, is there a goal? I know we want to collect as much as surveys, but do we have like an internal goal of, participation? I know like when we have, what is it? The survey that we have for the community of, I forgot what that's called, but for us, do we have a goal of like 100% participation through all residents or households that we want to kind of like have like a metrics on? So that we can kind of like promote it like a little thermometer bar or something, like reach our goal of.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
I would say all residents is a very ambitious goal. I was thinking 10%, which would be 300
Yeah.
surveys.
Right,
is
right,
probably
right, yeah,
like
10% would be very good.
something.
Yes.
Exactly.
We can do it. We can
Yeah.
do it.
I think with the community, I mean, everybody's like always all hands on deck. So having like a thermometer or something kind of like, and with a deadline posted, I think that'd be helpful as like a.
Oh, that's a great idea. I love that. I always look at those thermometers.
Yeah.
Yes, those are fabulous. Who's going to do that?
I think there might be some functionality within Facebook to track progress,
Oh,
like a progress tracking bar. So I can look into that. Otherwise, we might have to use an outside source and just kind of push that out to the community through our various platforms. But the other question I had for the commission tonight was how long we want to leave the survey open for responses, because our June our regular monthly meeting for June will be offsite facilities tour. We won't have an opportunity to review submissions by then anyways. So I'm wondering how long you feel is appropriate to leave it open for responses before the commission reviews the input at the July meeting.
I think it's really important to get a representative response or it's not really helpful. So I do think we should leave it open as long as we can and continue promoting in the blast. And I do wonder if we could get it in one of the newsletters that go out to all people. I know we were late for May, but maybe if we don't have enough, we could get it in June. And then we could also look at perhaps incentivizing people like, you know, by filling out the survey, they are entered for a raffle for
a hat. Yeah. And is there any event coming up that we could have a table at? I mean, I'd be happy to sit at the coffee shop on a weekend, you know.
Oh, the coffee shop's a good idea.
No.
We
And
have
just
like the LUNAFEST thing.
We have LUNAFEST. We have
I feel like
fire
there's
hydrant
something else coming up too.
fire hydrant restoration this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty small, but we could do that. But I like LUNAFEST. I'm on the LUNAFEST thing. I could do a table at LUNAFEST.
I'll be at LUNAFEST too, Lisa, so I could help with that.
Yeah, let's pass them all out and harangue people. I think that's how you get them to do it is you just say, please fill this out. Our rec department depends on it. You know, if you want your agenda to happen in the rec department, you know, we have to have this information and just stress it person to person. And people are willing, they just have to be reminded. You know?
No cocktails till you fill out the form.
There you go, Tom. That's the ticket.
Or you get an extra ticket to something.
Cocktail ticket.
Yeah, give it and I'll give you a drink.
Yes.
Beer. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Okay, well, let's actively work as a commission to try and think of ways that we can make this in the next couple of weeks, probably calling the city, working with Noreen to coordinate getting the stuff that we need and getting out there like a campaign, like a political campaign. Let's do it.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, any other questions or comments on old business? Okay, moving on to new business. We are going to discuss ideas for National Parks and Recreation Month.
Yes. So July is National Parks and Recreation Month. I'm going to read their little blurb. So since 1985, people in the United States have celebrated Parks and Recreation Month in July to promote building strong, vibrant, and resilient communities through the power of parks and recreation, and to recognize the dedicated professionals that maintain the country's local, state, and community parks. So they usually have a theme tied to each year, and they distribute a nationwide toolkit for agencies to utilize to promote National Parks and Recreation Month within their cities. So this year's theme is Rise Up for Parks and Recreation. And I think there's a lot of different directions that we can take that. In the past, what we've done is we've done a proclamation to City Council. We've done a compilation videos of our various programs throughout the course of a year. We've coordinated and distributed a community calendar with monthly events throughout the month. This year, it's nice that July Parks and Recreation Month coincides with our schedule for summer concerts. So all of our summer concerts fall in the month of July and will be a celebratory effort in themselves. But just kind of wanted to engage the commission in the conversation so that we as staff can prepare for what we intend to roll out in terms of a celebratory National Parks and Recreation Month for July. So.
Okay, I'm going to say concerts in the park would be a great place to get those forms filled out. Have a table there because you're going to have 100 people at that concert. So that will
be July. So
is that too late? Is it too late?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe the first concert in July.
Yeah.
Prior to our Park and Rec Commission meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just one. I can't see doing it at every one of them, but yeah, one of them. That's a good idea.
Okay.
Sign me up.
Yeah, I'd actually be happy to help too. It's July what?
Well, our first concert in July would be the 3rd.
Okay.
That's perfect because that could round
Yeah.
us out. That could just get us where we want to go.
Yeah, we'll have a push and then that'll be the final, you know. That would be great. And everybody's sitting around, you know, picnicking. We'll hand out pencils, give them this clipboard, say, just do this. And
Or
then,
even just text them the link. Like
Yeah.
it's a
oh,
nice-
yeah,
like you could do this on your phone, no problem.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, wonderful. Anything else for Park and Recs month? Do we have little activities planned or is it just presentations?
Well, that's the conversation we're having today.
Ah,
Last year during Parks and Rec month, we did Friday night events at the park. We had like a kids music concert. We brought out rented equipment for mini golf and we set up mini golf. We had an oversized games night.
and you did bocce and not
Volleyball was out there, cornhole,
pickleball. You did
pickleball we did. Yeah.
Are you going to do any of those? Any activities planned?
What's the
First
theme again?
conversation.
What's the
Rise
theme
up.
again?
Rise up.
Rise up. I think a climbing wall.
Climbing wall.
Great idea.
Love it.
I
How
love
about
it if it could be really visible too, like in the
Oh, they're
community
very visible.
park and have people like climb. That's a genius idea. Like one thing, but really impactful, getting the kids out there, everybody climbing,
How
maybe
about a
giving
kite day?
prizes. Yeah, kite day.
How
Both.
about everybody bring have a kite contest? Everybody make a kite and see if it flies and decorate it. That could be fun.
Yeah, it could be.
Both, but just don't have the kites hit the climbers.
No.
It's certainly windy enough lately, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or too windy almost.
I know, too windy for kite day.
Yeah.
I like the kite idea as well. I mean,
But
Not
the
everybody's-
climbing wall would be outstanding. That would be like we just do that. And
That's my recommendation. Do one thing and focus on one thing that's very cool.
yeah.
it's
Okay.
it's very popular and self-esteem wise, it's amazing. You know.
Yeah.
Well,
Lorraine, could we do it to coincide with the concerts in the park so everyone could see it in the community park?
We could. Yeah.
that would be awesome. And then we could advertise it in the city as our Rise Up event,
Yeah.
you know.
That's a great idea.
I think it's,
Check with our lawyers though.
Oh,
it's fine. We've had zip lines before. It's fine.
we've had climbing walls
Maureen is
before.
like,
yeah.
Maureen's the can-do woman.
I love it.
I love it. Me too. All right. I'm just gonna be quiet.
No, I think
No, you-
No,
Yeah,
I
but
think
still
that's a
say-
brilliant idea. That's our idea.
I do too. I love it.
it's very fitting with the theme, and I think it would be a really nice way to kind of kick off the month. So
Yeah, let's do that. That would be great.
awesome.
But you can't do it unless you fill out a survey.
That's right. To get on that wall, you've got to fill out that survey.
Right.
All right. Well, we will work on piecing that together, and we'll have an update for you at the next meeting.
Let me know if you need
Wonderful.
any help. I have some connections in the climbing world.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Tom.
Yay.
All right, Tom, you earned your
Okay.
salary today.
Anything else? Anything else on National Parks and Rec Month? No? Okay, we're moving on. We're discussing the offsite facilities tour for our June meeting, which is what we normally do. And yeah, we need that date. And what are we going to do? The list
Yeah.
of things.
So our regular June meeting is scheduled for the 8th. And typically, as I mentioned, for June, we do an offsite facilities tour. It tends to be a good time of year for that. It's a little bit lighter later. And so the commission can get out and kind of go on site to whichever facilities are of interest. You know, it would be a challenge to go to all of them, but usually there's one or two or maybe three or a trail that the commission kind of has consensus around and wanting to kind of visit and explore, ask questions, make kind of suggestions or recommendations for improvements. I feel like in the past, historically, we've consistently gone to like Mission Blue or the pool. but definitely open to hearing what the interests are of the commission. And we usually have a lot of fun doing this and having everybody meet at City Hall and hop in the Park and Rec van and we carpool around. So obviously, if people feel more comfortable in their own personal vehicles, that's fine too. So feel free to kind of discuss amongst yourself what your interests might be and which facilities you might want to visit so that we can plan accordingly for our June meeting.
And Noreen, this isn't a facility, but I wonder if we want to take a look at that space that we were talking about at the last meeting along the marina, where
yeah.
the city is developing.
It is,
plans.
yeah, it's definitely, it would be appropriate for this.
I like that. I also wonder if we could, I know it's kind of premature, but it'd be great to look at the old community center if we're
Yeah.
going to be thinking about future uses for that. I mean, I know it needs a lot of work and we're going to have reports and whatever, but at least it'll give us, you know, if we stand in the space, I think it would be a good idea. And we are still using it. We are still using it for little events.
Yeah, the Lions Club meets there.
The garden show.
Our seniors use it weekly. Brisbane Dance Workshop uses it many days a week.
Oh, they're still using it.
Yep.
Great. I thought they were up at Mission Blue. Yeah, no, let's look at that space.
Okay. So the parcel that we're going to be developing out at Sierra Point and community center / old library.
What else? Anything else?
I mean, the last one we did, the library was closed, and I think it would
Right.
be interesting to take a look at the space inside the library for community gathering. I mean, I know we could literally do that anytime if we just went inside the library, but
But through the eyes of our meeting, I think that's a good idea because we didn't get to see it last time.
Okay, we can see if they're available to have us come through.
I'd like to limit it. I mean, we could do Mission Blue, but I've done Mission Blue several times. But that's me. I don't know about other people.
I would agree with that. I think most of us have been to Mission Blue, so no need to do that.
Okay.
From my perspective.
So you want to do those three? Yeah, I think 3 is a good number.
Yeah.
Okay.
that'll
Any
be a
other
full
suggestions? What?
I'm sorry, I said that will be a full evening with
Yes.
those 3.
Okay, great.
So
All
we'll
right.
send a reminder out to everybody, but we'll just plan to meet at City Hall at 6:30, and then we'll start on our route to those 3 facilities.
Great.
Great.
Okay, now we're going to move on to reports. I guess I'm supposed to check in. I'm the chairperson. What does that mean?
If
I'm
you had
here.
anything to report.
Nobody's gotten to me about anything, so no, nothing to report. Okay, subcommittees. I'm getting a report from the Concerts in the Park Subcommittee. Who was on that? Yay. You want to say what happened, Julie?
Yeah, so I'm going to go from memory. So definitely correct me. It was a while back, but basically we have decided we are going to have the concerts in the park pretty much as we did last year. So they're going to be on Sunday afternoons. We saw a real spike in attendance then, and I think we were thinking about Friday night versus Sunday, and we really kind of leaned towards Sunday. That was the feedback I had from people. It was just warmer and people were able more people were able to attend. We have a variety of bands. We're really focusing on bands that kind of will play the hits because we know people like to dance. So we have one of the bands from last year finishing us off. We have a country kind of band this year, which is interesting and kind of new for me from last year. And, you know, it sounds like a really good lineup every Sunday, like starting the 3rd and then going for 5 weeks. One of the weeks we have the Brisbane Lions doing a Friday night kind of dance party. We decided not to kind of really focus on getting food trucks or anything like that, because people just tend to bring their own stuff in the day. So we're really going to just keep it simple, have really good music, and when it comes to promotion, we're going to try to get people to donate. And so looking at, and Noreen, you may know more than I do about this, kind of promoting in the water bill, see if people want to donate, and then just kind of make an ask for some of the local Brisbane businesses to see if they want to support us with this. But it seems like another really good year. It'll be interesting to see what the turnout is. Last year it was great. So I'm hoping we have similar good turnout and really good vibes and a good time for everyone. And what am I missing? Anything that?
I just have a question about doing it on Sundays. What happens if somebody's rented the picnic area for their Sunday party? Are we going to limit those?
We let them know that we have those events going on and they can be out there. We will try to restrict so we won't have all of the picnic areas consumed, and it'll be some use on a first come, first served basis, but we do give them a heads up to let them know.
Okay. And also the Lions will be selling their little hot dogs or doing a little cookout. Sometimes they do that.
Yeah, I think they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because they'll need space.
Yeah.
So I just think the city, well, they probably have this all worked out, but just, would be able to coordinate not having like a giant jumpy house party going on when this is happening, so.
Yeah, it's interesting. We didn't have that last year, so somehow that worked out, but it's a really good point to make sure we don't.
Little kid birthday party blast music, Okay. That's great. Anything else? Any questions anyone has about that? Nope. Okay. I am moving on to the Public Arts Advisory Committee, which I am on. So let me get my notes for that. Okay, so we met, and what we were doing is going over public art master plans. We've been reading a lot of master plans from other cities and just kind of comparing them, and because we're trying to make one up for Brisbane. And this time we looked at the master plan for Seattle and for Salinas. And we all really like Salinas. Salinas kind of mirrors Brisbane in the way that it's small. Although Salinas is culturally different, it's very agricultural, and it's also very young. A lot of people in Salinas are, in their 20s and younger. And so it's a very vibrant, youthful town. And their art reflects it, you know what I mean? And they did a huge amount of public outreach. They had tours, they took people on tours of the city and asked them about public art, and they did a lot of just questions, workshops, asking people how they could get involved with public art or what they wanted to see in the city as far as public art went. And they got a great response, and they really worked on it. And I thought that was just a great way to go, and everybody else on the committee did. So we really liked that. And we are going to try to get some of people from Salinas and from other cities on the peninsula. I think we really like Belmont's report. There were several other cities we've done in the past, and we're going to try and get somebody on those committees to come and talk to us about their process. And Stuart's going to reach out to them, these cities, and see if anybody's willing to do that. Of course, we're going to probably have to hire a professional to come in and make this happen, but we're working on that. And anyways, it was really productive. Seattle is just a whole different animal. It's a really big city, and they have a really huge arts program in Seattle. So it was kind of mind blowing, all the things that they were doing. I mean, they had artists on the boards of their, public works department. Like artists are in every part of their life and have a say on everything that happens in that city. And so, that just took it to such a huge level. But they have the money to do that, and they're big, and they're kind of known for art. So anyways, that was really interesting to see how a big city did it. Our next meeting, we're going to talk about, we're going to read the report from San Diego, see how they do it. And that's about it. That's our process. We're just working forward. I think our next meeting also, we're going to talk about our first project, which is doing something behind the bathroom area in the park, some kind of public art back there. That's our first project. So anyways, any questions?
I'm on that committee too, and I just want to apologize. I just haven't been able to make those meetings with soccer coaching.
Okay. That's okay. We missed you.
Lisa, I'm just curious, what made you choose Seattle as something to look at? Like, how'd you? Salinas kind of makes sense, but I'm curious. Yeah.
I don't know. I think does staff have an answer to that? I think Stuart and whoever went out and looked up these public records of these different towns. I mean, we've looked at Reno, we've looked at lots of different towns around the area. And they all have something to say. And it's also interesting to see how they're written, because some of them go into a lot of detail and some of them are very vague.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to figure out how we can tailor it to what Brisbane needs as far as a public art roadmap.
Yeah.
It's really just a roadmap, but it's really helpful to see what other people have done.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree completely.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what we're doing now, but we're trying to move through it. We're doing like meetings every couple of weeks. So we're trying to move through it. Okay. So any other questions? Nope. Okay. Then we're going on to the Recreation Program Subcommittee.
I can give an update on that. I think Frank and I were the ones who were on that call. So
I think I was too, but I hardly remember.
Oh, Renee, sorry.
Oh yeah, I was.
I think I
too
was
as well. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
wait, we've got everybody.
I hope that what you say helps me remember what we talked about.
Julie, Renee, and Natalie.
Should I defer to someone else? Because,
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Noreen did send out a great
I did.
yeah. So let me I can tag team or all right. So we met on April 27th. We discussed a couple of high, I guess like an overall items on the needs assessment survey, the registration process, the resident versus non-resident priority registrations, and then good of the order. What is that? Good of the order. But let me start off with the needs assessment. So we discussed a lot about the survey outcomes to drive our future discussions for what we want to do with our programs. And then as far as the registration process, the staff outlined the various ways of how people can register for programs: online, mail-in, fax, walk-in. So there's a variety of ways of residents and non-residents on how they can register for our programs. We also talked about the priority of registration. So there was clarity on the registration periods. So there's always like a 2-week prior. So a 2-week, I guess, period for residents to sign up. And then after 2 weeks, then it opens for the registration's open for any non-residents. So instead of having like the standard 1-week period. As far as the popular item for summer, we have the swim lessons registration, and that's been, I believe that's released yesterday to residents. So in 2 weeks, non-residents could actually register for that. Let's see. And then as far as the suggested providing numerous reminders, so a couple of reminders to send it out to our community. There's a couple of emails, and then also the signboard that basically helps out remind for the registrations. And then as far as there was also the staff shared information regarding upcoming registration periods for impacted childcare programs, including preschool and fall after school. I know we talked about that in the presentation earlier. And then the staff also shared limitations around number of swim lessons offered during the non-peak seasons. And then also during the summer and peak season, lessons offered are more abundant and less impacted since there's more aquatics staff that are available to work during summer season. So that is basically it of our Rex program subcommittee.
Can I ask a question about the swim program? Did you hear from people that weren't able to get their kids signed up for summer? That's just starting, right?
We just opened registration for that yesterday.
Okay,
So
so
we have significantly more offerings during the summer.
okay, so the complaint that I had heard before was for off-season swim lessons.
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Have you heard more about that or no?
No,
We've
just from
not-
that one.
Heard, but correct me if I'm wrong, but we basically decided to extend. So instead of a 1 week buffer from residents and non-residents, it'll now be 2 weeks.
I think that's more than fair. I think that's great. I don't think anyone should have any complaints about that, but but yeah.
And the other thing we talked about was really just turning on the communications, like 1 week left, your last chance to sign up before we
Right.
open it up so that, people really get the message and we don't lose anybody.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it. Thanks, Noreen, for your
Okay.
notes.
Yeah, thanks, Noreen.
All right. The next one is the LUNAFEST Event Subcommittee. I'm on that one. Anyone else?
Frank is not here and Tom.
Tom, did you make that one?
I did.
Okay, why don't you give the report?
Oh boy.
I don't know. It wasn't a long meeting, but go ahead.
I know they're still looking for odds and ends and trying to figure out, the VIP, gifts and stuff. I know I have a friend in the chocolate business and try to get some nice chocolates for the VIPs. Sounds like she's already raised 20 grand out of 30.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. It sounds like it's just getting into like the kind of the final preparations. If I'm wrong, like it's really, Madison's, she's done this before and she's on it. So it's really just putting the polishing edges on some of the new things like the VIP section and how we're going to work that out, high tables, and what is that to offer? But it sounded like they were in great shape. Noreen, I don't know if were you on that call? It sounded like they're in great shape.
Yeah, we're in pretty good shape. I did meet Sharon on site earlier this week to kind of configure the layout for the tents outside so that we can have most of the food and beverage consumption take place outside, especially if the COVID situation's a little bit worse between now and the event. Then we'll encourage people to do all of that outside. But we will have tents set up and lighting, and the part of the VIP experience will be out there as well. So as Tom mentioned, it's all of the kind of more minor details that we're piecing together in this finishing few weeks, and also just really need to push out the ticket sales to encourage people to attend the event. It's, historically people wait until kind of the last minute to buy these tickets, but we definitely want to continue our marketing and promotional efforts to get the word out. So
You can discount them and then have them go up in price too. Always gets people to go because there's only 30 people signed up, which was kind of a shock. But I think the VIP thing will sell. I think people will be into it.
Okay, so if you haven't bought your tickets yet, all of you, buy
I'm
them.
in.
I'm in. I'm
Want the
guilty.
chocolate.
I haven't bought mine, and I got to do it. Got to do it. VIP all the way. It'll be fun. Dance party.
Well, and there's chocolate apparently, which is
Oh
amazing.
my God.
Oh, we're trying. I'm working.
And good wine. Frank scored some really
Oh
good
my gosh,
wine.
yeah. Frank's wine
Nice.
sounded great.
Frank
Amazing.
scored the wine. I'm doing the flowers. We'll have music. It'll be great. Plus all the great films. It'll be fun. Okay, so that and LUNAFEST is happening in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from tonight.
Mhm.
Okay. Next is the setting subcommittee meeting. Oh, that's what it is. Setting the subcommittee meetings. Okay. Do any need to be scheduled? Let's capture any dates that need to be set.
Can you see my share screen of the subcommittee roster?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of
okay.
small. Can I make it bigger?
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Oh, I'm blind.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There we
I didn't realize. I thought she was saying, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So just if there's any kind of time sensitive need for subcommittee meetings between now and our next June 8th meeting. I think we already have our LUNAFEST next meeting on the schedule. Lisa, maybe you can confirm whether or not the next public art meeting is calendar.
Yeah, the next public art meeting is May 23rd
Okay.
at 4:30.
And let's see, the LUNAFEST meeting is Wednesday, May 25th at 4:30.
Oh, that 4:30, that's the next meeting.
Yes.
Right. That's what I have in my calendar. Okay, so the actual LUNAFEST is what date?
June 11th.
10th or 11th.
Okay.
So those two are already scheduled. I don't see anything else as being time sensitive. I think a lot of information that we gather through the survey will create a need for some of these subcommittee meetings to meet afterwards. But
Right.
Noreen,
me if
can
you
I
feel at home.
ask, can I request that we do a teen committee meeting? And the reason I ask that is I have an opportunity with the Daly City Youth Health Center that I want to kind of talk about. They're willing to come out and do some programming for us.
Yeah, that we can definitely schedule that. Our staff representative is Sarah, but it would be helpful if Frank is not here, but if Natalie and Julie could throw out a couple of potential days and times, and then I can confirm with Frank and staff to nail down a date.
Let's see, in terms of my schedule. What if we tried for the week of May 29th? Or, no, that's not good. That's Memorial Day. Let's try before that. Could we do perhaps the 24th or 25th, the afternoon? May?
I'm free on the 25th, anything after 3 o'clock.
Maybe we circle around that, the 25th.
Okay, we have LUNAFEST that day at 4:30.
Oh, no, that's not
Does
good.
3:30
Yeah,
work?
That's Frank.
That would work for me.
Yeah, that works for me as well. And a second day, I am available on 3 o'clock on Tuesday on that 24th.
Yeah, I could do that as well.
Okay, so Tuesday, May 24th at 3 or Wednesday, May 25th at 3:30 before the LUNAFEST meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, I will put those out to Frank and Sarah, and then Jovi will send an email confirmation.
Great.
Any other subcommittee meetings need to happen? Okay, let's move on. I guess I need to check in with commissioners. Any commissioners reports? Anything going on with you guys? Anyone having children? Anyone? I got a new puppy. No, you all knew that. Anything else? No,
No.
you're all good. You're all good. You're feeling good about your meetings and your committees and all right, good. Staff, how's staff doing?
We're good. I just have a couple of updates to share. As Scott mentioned, summer camp registration is full blown. So we do have a team meeting tomorrow, and it's my intention to discuss that with them because I do anticipate that as we get closer to the start of camp, there will be families that are surprised that we're full. And so we want to be able to kind of redirect their need, provide them with additional resources if we're not able to accommodate them. I know that Lippman has contracted, or the school district has contracted for additional contracted summer camp at Lippman on their campus. They are certainly not as affordable as our programs, but in the event that someone has a dire need for childcare and is able to afford it, we can definitely make that recommendation to them. But I also intend to reach out to our neighboring agencies in South San Francisco and Daly City to determine how impacted their registration is in their programs and whether or not they have space, so that if they do have space, we can also redirect people to those programs so that they feel that they have some level of service and resource from us. So we'll be talking as a team about that tomorrow. And our busy weekend is upon us. We have our BDW. They have their performance at Mission Blue this weekend. We have our lifeguard certification class. Last time I checked, we had 10 people enrolled, so that's a very big class. And we have our fire hydrant restoration event as well. So hoping to share photos on our social media accounts for all of those things. And as mentioned, swim lesson registration is open. Also just want to make a plug for our Volunteer of the Year. If people have neighbors or friends that they want to nominate for the Volunteer of the Year award, please send me an email and we will include their name in the conversation with our City Council Liaison Subcommittee meeting later this year, prior to the announcement at our Day in the Park event. And on May 21st, the city is hosting, in collaboration with the county, a mental health training that is free for those that are interested in registering. Space is limited. I think last time I checked, they had fewer than 10 spots remaining, but it's an all-day training that will take place at City Hall in our community meeting room. And it's a unique opportunity for residents to receive training on mental health awareness. And lastly, May is Water Safety Month and Bike to Anywhere Month. So you'll probably see some information coming out from us about both of those things. And we have registration open for our June 24th Cornhole Tournament. So for anybody who's interested in participating, it's been a lot of fun in the past. We're bringing it back on June 24th. So registration is open for that as well. That's all I have.
I love the mental health training that we're doing. I think that's just so cool. And I do plan to sign up for that.
Yeah, you guys are busy. I really appreciate all
Yeah.
There's a lot going on, but it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I would also like to plug, I don't know if anyone's going to hear this, but my son went to sleepaway camp up in Grass Valley every year for a week or 2 weeks. And it's the most incredible camp ever. It's a small little, it's called Camp Woolman, and they are not allowed to have any electronics. They just go camping, backpacking, swim in the Yuba River, sing around the campfire kind of stuff. And it just changed his life forever. Every year he'd go and meet his friends there. And it wasn't expensive. It's a very small little program. So if anybody needs, they also have scholarships if you need stuff. So Camp Woolman, look it up.
How do you spell it?
WOOLMAN. And they have little cabins. They sleep, they have a little camp. They have a farm, an organic farm. So kids, pick their own food, cook it, and then they go hiking. They do overnight hiking, no tents. They just sleep under the stars.
Oh, wow. I was getting ready to say, this sounds like something I'd like to do until that part.
I was surprised. I was like, you guys have to have tents. He's like, no, Mom, it's better. You just sleep in your bag and look at the stars. And,
until something runs across you.
I don't know. They just love it. They come back. They only do that for like an overnight, and then they come back. And they're in their little cabins, their little wooden cabin. But anyways, great great little camp.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, next, any written communications from anybody?
Not tonight, Chairperson.
Okay, wonderful. Any commission calendars, attachments for our next meeting? Do we decide on our next meeting? Is that what that is? No.
Yeah, our next meeting is just going to be our offsite facilities tour.
Right, and we've already discussed that. Okay. So I think we're done. Look at that. It's
You did
almost
it,
8
Lisa.
o'clock. And it went zooming by. You guys were great. Okay, so I'm going to
Wonderful.
end this meeting. It is 7:57 p.m. And I wish you all a very good evening.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Excellent
everyone.
job.
Thanks, everyone.
Great job on your
Bye.
first meeting, Lisa.